Hello and welcome to Mickeyology, where we take Disney a little too seriously. I'm Austin Rathall, and today I'm responding to some of the comments that you have left on some of my recent videos. Thank you to everybody out there for watching and for commenting. I love seeing all of your requests for me to cover certain movies on the channel and the great questions that you guys leave as well, and also your insights on the topics that we cover in each of the videos. Today we're just going to talk about a few of the comments that you guys have left. I apologize if I don't get to one of your comments because there are a lot of great ones out there, but here are just a couple that I thought would be nice to respond to on camera. Our first comment here comes from King Arthur 98. Thank you for watching, and it's on the last comment video that I did. In Disney's Little Mermaid, Ursula uses a Nautilus shell to imprison Ariel's singing voice. In my opinion, to find where the Disney movie is set, you have to check where the Nautilus species are more common. So I looked it up after your comment, and the Nautilus shells come from the Western Pacific and coastal areas of the Indian Ocean, whereas I believe that the Little Mermaid fits best in the Mediterranean. However, I think that we can safely assume that King Triton and Ursula and people like that in the Little Mermaid universe are able to travel the world. Why? Well, we know that Ursula references the Caspian Sea in the song Poor Unfortunate Souls. So how does she know about the Caspian Sea? That's a true sea. It's landlocked. So if she's, is she in the Caspian Sea? And if so, why would she say winds of the Caspian Sea come to me? Anyway, and we also know that King Triton and Ursula can change mermaids like Ariel into humans and give them legs. So why wouldn't they be able to do that for themselves and maybe travel the world? As a matter of fact, we know that Ursula does transform herself because she becomes the bride of Prince Eric for a time. So I would say that yes, the Nautilus is a good clue to the universe, but Ursula probably got the Nautilus shell by traveling or meeting people who have traveled the world, not necessarily because she's from the Indian Ocean. This next comment was posted on the When and Where Does Disney's Tangled Take Place video, and AOC_10MR says, I see why it could be France, but I just feel like it would fit Germany equally as well, like the Flower Island earlier in the video. Also, wasn't Germany spread out among different kingdoms in the 1800s, like a Prussia or Bavaria? That would make Corona make sense if it was an individual kingdom in the German land. On the other hand, France was united under one monarchy. Wow, somebody knows their European history. Very well done. Yes, Germany was divided among different kingdoms back in that time. Another thing that maybe you already knew this, and you could have this could have influenced your decision, but I know that a lot of the aesthetics of Tangled come from Fantasyland and Pinocchio, and they even put Pinocchio in the Snuggly Duckling pub. But Pinocchio is very influenced by Germany and German architecture and all of that. So yeah, I would say it's still, Tangled is still French, just because it's based so heavily on Mont Saint-Michel, the castle. But yeah, I think Germany has definitely had an influence on the aesthetics of that movie. And if you want to think that it takes place in Germany, I don't think there's a whole lot to contradict it. I think it works. This is a comment on the Christmas Carol video. Nicholas Zandy VGCP 2001 says, I'll just say this, while Jim Carrey's version is the most faithful adaptation of the book, at least compared to other cinematic adaptations, Henson's version is still a better adaptation because it does a better job of adapting the parts that don't work in a film. In my opinion, there's such a thing as being too perfect, and Carrey's Christmas Carol is a good description of it. I am right there with you. So, I'm actually not a huge fan of the Jim Carrey Christmas Carol, although it does, as you said, adapt a lot of stuff from the book faithfully. It doesn't adapt the tone quite as faithfully. I think part of that is from the technology, the mocap, and I think also part of that is, like you say, they add some slapstick and things that I don't think fit. However, I also want to take this opportunity to say that next Christmas, if you're looking for a really great adaptation of A Christmas Carol, my favorite is Scrooge starring Alastair Sim. It's a pretty old black and white movie. There are colorized versions out there, but that one is just like, mwah, perfect adaptation of the book. They show all these other scenes that they added that aren't in Dickens, but they match so seamlessly. The way they are written and the tone of those scenes just fits in so well and expands the story so nicely. So that's what makes it my favorite version. So if you're on the lookout for another great adaptation in addition to Muppets Christmas Carol, I would check out the Alistair Sim version if you haven't already. So those are my reactions to some of your great comments on the recent videos. Please keep those comments coming in. Thank you so much for watching and for commenting and for being part of this little community that we've got going, taking Disney a little too seriously. If you would like more Mickeyology content, just know that there is more going up not only on the main channel but also over on Patreon and in YouTube memberships. I've got videos about when and where does Shrek take place. I've got some Marvel videos coming out soon, so be sure to check that out if you are enjoying the main channel content. I also know that you guys have requested many movies that I will be covering very soon, and I hope you keep those requests coming in. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I will see you next time. Goodbye.